PPSD family. This is Dr. Javier Montañez with Beyond the Bell. This is something new that we're going to be trying. It's a new podcast where we'll bring you information and updates on what's going on in the district outside of the Bell system. Today with me, I have Carina Pinto de Chacon from the Family Engagement Office, who's going to be sharing some information with us today. So with no further ado, here we go. I have a few questions before we ask some serious questions. I want you to introduce yourself a little more about yourself. What's your history? What's your connection to the Providence Public School? Why are you here? Why you do what you do?
Well, I think I've heard that both of us are Providence Schools graduates. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about my story. I had the, I will say, privilege, blessing to graduate from Mount Pleasant High School. I came in as a multilingual learner. I originally come from Guatemala, and my first educational experience in the United States was Mount Pleasant High School. So I came from my country. I was 14, and I enrolled in Mount Pleasant, and it was a beautiful experience. It was not easy. It did not make it easy, but it made me ready. I have so many things to appreciate about Mount Pleasant. I think what I appreciate the most is that it allowed me to connect with individuals who believed in myself before I even believed in myself. They saw the potential I had before I even realized what potential was. And we talk about big words nowadays. We talk about resilience. And I always wonder, what resilience was. And before it became a popular word in the educational leadership world or educational world. And that's exactly what Mount Pleasant did for me. It made me resilient.
Could you remember at least one person, one educator, one teacher at that school that you felt comfortable enough to meet with, have discussions, and be helped by that person?
I don't even know if I want to name any because I have so many that I don't want. You're putting me in a difficult situation.
Wait a minute. We love you all, teachers, but we always have that one special one.
Yeah. So I, at the time that I went to Mount Pleasant High School, there was an administrator who was a Spanish speaker. He was from the Dominican Republic. It was Dr. Tomás Ramirez. Yes, and when I first met him, what intrigued me the most is the fact that he spoke English and I did not. So I remember when I met him and I said, hey, did you always speak English or did you learn English while you were in school? And he told me about his story and it inspired me. It showed me that, he had done it. And to me, it was unattainable. It was so far out of reach. But when I met him and I learned about his story and what he had accomplished, it made it doable. It gave me perspective and it kind of gave me, it gave me the realization that I could do it, that it wasn't unattainable, that at some point I was going to accomplish just as much.
So what I hear is that he helped you see the light in the end of the tunnel.
He was a mirror. He was a window for me. I was able to see myself in him. And I said, you know what? He came as a student. He didn't speak the language. He learned. He went through what he had to do. And now he's an administrator. And I want to be just like him.
That's awesome. That's an awesome story. I have similar stories like that. But I think I was, as you know, I attended Hope High School. I didn't get to graduate like everyone else, the 4 years, full 4 years. I think I attended almost 3.5 years. But the time that I was there, I really didn't know how to read. I have dyslexia, and it was for Ralph Coley. He was the drama teacher at Hope High School. As you know, back then it was a drama program. Now Hope High School happens to be the art school, which infuses arts in everything and every aspect of the school. However, I remember one day we was preparing for a show. And I knew pretty much everybody's line by memory. But I remember him asking me to read something, a script, because the person that was supposed to be doing that actually broke a leg. And that's something that we say in theater, break a leg. But he actually broke his leg. So he asked me, as I was the stagehand and I was putting things up, he asked me, Javier, can you read this for me? I lost it. Because I knew that he just demasked me. He took my mask off because I knew I didn't know how to read, especially off and then in front of everybody. That was the biggest, the most frightened I think I've ever been, was try to read in front of people. And little to say, I didn't show up for 3 more days after that. But he found me in the hallway one day. He brought me back and he asked me what happened. And I told him my story. I said, you embarrass me in front of everyone because I don't know how to read. that's when I saw the look in his face. Like he could not believe that. And when I told him that, he said, you what? You can't read? I said, no. How are you in high school and you can't read? Not that I didn't fully know how to read, but I didn't know how to decode. And he says, come after school. And he helped me after school. And ever since that, I've been paying it forward back to the community, to my community, which is the Providence Public School. So
what a beautiful story. So he helped you to learn how to read?
Helped me learn how to read, and then find out later on as an adult that it's not that I didn't know how to read, it was that I'm dyslexic. So I was trying to break the codes, but through the supports that he gave me and helping me decode it, he actually helped me become
So how did you manage, like throughout your earlier years, going through the different situations, having to read? Reading was just something you were expected to do in class. So how did you manage every time somebody asked you to read?
In younger grades, I looked at pictures and made my own story. As I went on, I tried to blend in with the wall in the back of the room, because out of sight, out of mind, maybe the teacher's not going to look at me, they're going to look at the other students. So I tried to always be as far back as I could in the corner where I wasn't being noticed.
It makes me wonder, Dr. Montañez, how many of our students are trying to become invisible because they are managing or they are going through so many difficult situations or trying to overcome barriers that are not just reading. There are so many barriers that our students overcome. I work for the Office of Family and Community Engagement, and what I love about my job the most is that I get to listen to the human aspect of education. We think of education and we think about grade level, curriculum, reading, writing, listening, speaking, but we never think about the human stories that are behind every student. So I am in a privileged place where I get to hear from our families and our students about the constant struggles and the barriers, and there's so many things that they have to overcome in life.
So it's interesting that you say that, right? Because that's one of the things that help drives some of my decisions. I look at data. Data drives instructions, but then we was looking at what curriculum looked like. And it's not only about the curriculum, high quality instruction, high quality material to make sure that our students have that opportunity, but also that one-on-one, that small group, which wasn't really used when we were younger, the way we use it now, to actually support students and give that wraparound service to make sure that we're giving the child or the student every opportunity to be successful in school. So I think just the way we do things now is totally different of how we used to do it in the past. And that's a great thing that we're doing, making sure that we're putting students as the center and not a program. So, years ago, we have this program that's put the student into the program. Now this is a student that we have, and we need to find a program to fit that student and write services around that student. So I think we're in a different place from where we were back in the years. So that's really interesting.
I agree that there are, education, it's love, it's passion, it's wanting to help people. So there are so many educators like ours, not necessarily people who graduated from Providence and wanted to come back and pay it forward, but the wonderful job that all of our educators are doing, connecting with students, keeping students' safety and keeping student well-being as a number one priority. So understanding that teaching and learning is not just about instruction, but it's about connections and making sure that every student has someone that they can connect with at the school level and look forward to come to school every day because of this one individual.
And that was the next thing I was going to touch base on. This I want to say to our students: find that one person in your building that you can connect with, and have that person that you can actually have conversations with. I tell you, it's going to support you so much, and it's going to help you to move on. So don't forget, make that connection, make that relationship with someone in the building that you can connect with.
And I trust, and I feel very confident saying that many of our students already do have that one or multiple individuals that they can connect with at the school. So we are very happy that very privileged that times have changed and we are living in different times. Now, speaking of important information, right? Let's talk about February. What's happening in February in Providence schools regarding school choice, perhaps?
Well, you said February, and I'm thinking my mind went straight to Valentine's Day. But that's not what we're talking about. Yes. We're not talking about Valentine's Day. I thought we were talking about Valentine's Day, but I think what you're referring to, how about let's think about school choice.
So what about school choice? So what is school choice to begin with?
That gives every student the opportunity, every parent and student an opportunity to go and look at our schools, what our schools have to offer. And this is for 5th graders and 8th grade students. They have the opportunity as they moving on to the next grade or the next level. We're looking at what schools have to offer. And many of our schools have many new programs. So please, parents, I ask that you take this seriously, take the opportunity to find out what the schools have to offer, find out what interests the students have, so we can actually, remember what we were saying, have a program in a child. We want to make sure that the child's picking the right program that they can be successful in. So please take the time to look at school choice. If you go to our website, it's in the website, I think it's www.providenceschools.org/school choice. So we can go there and fill out the applications. And now I'm to understand that we have 4 opportunities. So parents, you have 4 choices. So your number 1 choice should be your number 1. So you write down for number 1, this is my number 1 choice.
I'm going to hold you right there.
All right.
So the information we're sharing about, it doesn't apply to every student right now. It applies specifically for students in 5th grade and 8th grade. So if you are in 5th grade and 8th grade right now, pay attention, because this is this school choice window. So you received a notification via Parent Square, and this is an application that you can fill out right from your phone, right from your computer, right from our website. And what you have the opportunity to do right now is to select the 4 schools of your top choice. So if you are going into a middle school or into 6th grade, or if you're going into a high school or 9th grade, this is the opportunity for you to complete the school choice form so that you can participate in the school choice lottery. Why is participating in the lottery so important?
Well, it's like I was just explaining, it's important because it actually helps us and helps the family and the students to actually choose the school and the programs that's going to best fit the students. So this is why we're asking them to fill out those 4 choices, because at least if you don't get into your first choice, you're going to get second or third choice, and it's still tying in with the students' interests.
But if you complete your school choice form within the window, so before February 20th, the earlier the better. So remember, complete your school choice prior to February 20th so you can participate in the school choice lottery. And it is a high probability that you will get your first choice. And if you want to learn more about our schools, please visit our website, providenceschools.org/school choice, and you can find the school profile so that you can learn about all of the wonderful programs and opportunities that our schools have to offer. So remember, this is the school choice window. Anything else on school choice that we want our students and families and community to know?
I can't think of anything right now, but I think it's really important just to remind our families and our students to please make sure to use this opportunity. This is a really important opportunity for you to make choices of what the next few years are going to be looking like for you if you choose the school and the program that you want.
And we have also beautiful buildings that we are inaugurating and opening up for our schools. Remember, for our students, Providence Schools' goal is to have every school building new or light new by 2030. I do think that's a topic for another podcast. Because we are going to need more time to speak about that. But remember, that's our goal, to have every school new or light new by 2030. Now, there's something else that's happening in February and March.
Yes. And it's actually to April 10th, if I'm not mistaken, it's the last day.
So it's a little bit of, it's all of February, it's all of March, and a little bit of April. So what are we talking about?
This is the opportunity for all of our students to think about when we're looking at parents. This is something I really need your support with, which is SurveyWorks. I know we have some, Carina, I'm going to let you let them know what the goal was last year, what the goal is this year, what we accomplished last year. But this is the perfect opportunity for our families to actually have their voices heard. So please, I ask all my families, I always ask with a lot of love, to please make sure that you take the time out to fill out the SurveyWorks, because that gives us a lot of information, a lot of data on areas that we're doing well and areas of maybe some concern that we will not know unless we hear from you directly. So I'm asking our families to make sure to take the time out to fill out these SurveyWorks. Let's talk about our goals for last year.
SurveyWorks. So let's talk about what SurveyWorks is first. So it's a statewide survey. So every student, teacher, administrator, staff member, and parent in the state of Rhode Island has the opportunity to participate and give their school and the school district feedback via SurveyWorks, which is a statewide survey. So for Providence, you have received notification about participating in the survey. If you're a student, you will be taking this survey at your school. But if you are a family member, you need to complete this at home. You can do this at the convenience of from home. You can do it on your phone, on your computer, or you can visit the Office of Family and Community Engagement and complete it here online with us, or visit your school or participate in the many opportunities that you will have to connect with the school so that you can also complete the survey.
Can I ask you now, because this has been asked a few times, when parents have students in 2 different schools, do I have to fill it out for both schools?
Yes, please fill it out for both schools because it's a personal experience. So I am a parent of 3, and I can tell you parenting 3 kids was a unique experience each time. So although I thought they had the same mother, they say they didn't. They said that every time I mother differently. I still don't understand how that happened. But it is a different, unique experience. So parents, if you have multiple students with us, please complete 1 survey per child, because this is an opportunity for you to share about your unique experience at the school level, in the classroom, especially if your children go to different schools. And this is a good opportunity for you to tell us the areas that you perceive we are doing well, and the areas that you perceive that we could improve. We understand there's always room for improvement, but we need to communicate. We need to understand what your experiences are so that we can improve and make the shifts and put on initiatives that will help improve and enhance the experience that you are having as a parent and as a student. So the good news, last year, Providence, because we are overachievers here in Providence.
We try to be.
No. Let me correct that. We are overachievers here in Providence. The goal, our turnaround action plan goal for family SurveyWorks completion rate was last year 58%, which is aggressive. That means that we aimed at 58% of our families completing the survey, and when we closed the window, 61% of our families closed the survey, have completed the survey. So that's why I said we are, Providence is Providence. We are overachievers here. We don't just settle for the minimum. So we went over our goal. So this year's goal, spring of 26, our goal, hear me out, is 68%. But I have no doubt that not only are we going to achieve it, but we are going to
surpass it, because I know my parents, and I know they're going to go out and they're going to fill this out, and they're going to come back and say, look, we're here for you, because we can make a better district when we do this work together. So I know that this 60% that we're looking for, we're going to surpass that.
So we are counting. We want to hear from you. And it's not so much about the number. It's not about completing as many surveys as we can. It's about hearing from as many families as we can. It is really important for us that we engage, that we connect. And guess what? The results of the surveys is what our school leaders will analyze in the summer to understand exactly what the needs are at the school level, so that they can put initiatives and strategies in place to enhance those experiences for our students and families. So families, remember, you have a survey to complete for us. SurveyWorks, or on our website, or just check your Parent Square account. You will have the link right there.
I have every faith in my families that we're going to accomplish this. Once again, it's not just about the number, but it's also about the information, the data that we collect, so we can continue improving our district together. So with that being said, I want to say thank you for coming here today, sharing some time with us in this podcast. And remember, everyone, if you come and see our podcast, it's called Beyond the Bell. Every month, we're going to be having a new podcast. So thank you for tuning in. I can't wait to hear from you the next time around. And if you have any questions, please send it to us. Send it to Carina. And this way, we can answer some of those questions in our podcast.